Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So with BT6 finally getting released, hopefully here soon in the States, other people are already looking at Classic Collection. Yes, EX1 is scheduled to release hopefully sometime in December, assuming there's no more delays. It should be in the first week of December. Now we haven't had any kind of concrete evidence to show of any delays, so I think it's safe that we should probably start planning ahead a little bit. And to do so, we kind of need to know what decks are really going to be like new and popping up with Classic Collection. Now, will the meta change overly so? I don't think so. I think the best part about Classic Collection is that there's no real new archetypes that just explode out of nowhere. It's just a big package of useful cards for already existing decks that aren't doing so well in the meta that gives them a nice boost to bring them into the meta spotlight. Also, our egg for this month is going to be the Golden Armor Digi Egg here. I believe this is the Egg of Hope. I will definitely double check that to make sure for the next one. This is our prototype that we have so far. Still a work in progress. Kind of hard to see. It's a bit bright. But we will be molding this and then doing a resin cast of it. So we'll see how that turns out. And definitely stay tuned to see how these develop. Also, if you'd like to get any of our previous memory markers that we've had on the channel, check the coffee link in the description below. There you can order all of our previous memory markers that we've had. The only benefit of going through Patreon is that you can get the current memory marker a whole month early before it goes live on Coffee. Also, you can get them sometimes cheaper. I know the Golden Armor one is expected to release at least $20, not including shipping. So if you go through Patreon, you can get it for $20 with shipping included already. So definitely check that out. So jumping in here and looking at Classic Collection, we are on DigimonCard.dev. For those not familiar, great resource for just looking at cards that have the text changed to English. So before we ever get official English releases, they have a nice change for us here to look at what the English versions looks like of cards. And one of the first decks that just everyone is immediately going to flock to, that everyone's excited for, maybe not everyone, but most generally, it's not a degenerate deck or anything like that. It's just a very well beloved deck, and that is Imperial Jumon. So we have a new whole Evo line of Imperial Jumon support. So this just takes the already established blue Imperial Jumon deck that we have, and where you're always trying to debate on what secondary mega to take. Do you take the green Imperial Jumon? Do you take Nidhoggmon? You know, what do you do? This kind of just answers the question of you just run more blue Imperial Jumon. So we have the new one here that does a whole lot of the same stuff. We're just getting multiple attacks in order. And that's kind of the general strategy, is that you just repeatedly attack your opponent over and over, preferably with jamming, or you use something that gives jamming as an inheritable, and you just continuously just pummel your opponent with tons of attacks. And that's kind of the general idea of Imperial Jumon. So we have the new Imperial Jumon itself, but we kind of got to take it down a notch, and we're actually going to look at the beginnings here. We have the new Vmon here of it gives the inheritable of when it unsuspends, it gains 1 memory. So when you look at certain Digimon like Imperial Jumon, that when you Digivolve you can unsuspend itself, that gives you 1 memory off of this Vmon here. So it turns that, you know, originally 5 Evo cost, takes that down to a 3 if you go on top of like a Pyldramon, and then that takes it down to a further 2 if you have the Vmon here. So really, really neat that you can do stuff like that now. We have the new X Vmon here that has jamming, which, you know, fits in nicely with the deck. But it has the inheritable here, which is really important. While this Digimon contains Imperial Jumon in the name, or it has free characteristics, it gives jamming. So the new Imperial Jumon doesn't have jamming already, but this X Vmon can give it jamming, so it basically operates the same as your regular Imperial Jumon. We do have a new Pyldramon, which is it's kind of interesting. The inheritable here is if this Digimon has Imperial Jumon in its name, this Digimon is unblockable. So that's pretty neat. The Diaboromon was kind of lackluster originally, the green one. It had jamming, But you know, and it had piercing, but no inheritable, which was a real bummer. So now you could take that green one off, and then add in this Imperial Jumon to give both of your megas, because you're going to use the old Imperial Jumon and the new one. Both of them are going to get this unblockable ability, which is really awesome. But I think one of the best new supports for the deck is honestly this Stingmon here, and it has the inheritable of if this Digimon has Imperial Jumon in its name or free in its attribute, this Digimon gains piercing. So it gives piercing to your Imperial Jumon. So both your Imperial Jumon are going to gain piercing, and I think that's one of the best things. You know, if you can't get unblockable with the XVmon, gaining piercing is definitely the next best thing. In some cases, it's an even better thing because you can attack, you know, other suspended Digimon, clear those off the field, and also get your piercing check. So really, really awesome include. Absolutely going to do great things for the deck overall, I think. Alright, and then another one of the decks that a lot of people are looking at that was kind of obvious was Diaboromon here, and we just basically were getting tons of new Diaboromon support for an already kind of roguish deck. You know, they had a lot of support through tournament promos that were really expensive, and then we got new promo, or not new promos, but we got new cards in, I believe, BT5, you know, Armageddonmon, we got the new Diaboromon that was just a rare, you know, tons of new support, we got the Tamer card, and now they're just kind of getting a little bit more to really kind of, honestly, what I think the big takeaway is that it nullifies the need for those tournament promos, and you don't need them nearly as much for the deck to be good. In fact, a lot of people would agree that the best way to play the Diaboromon is without the tournament promos, and I definitely see that. So it has a security effect at the end of battle. Diaboromon, you may play a Diaboromon token, so this is just another way to get a token onto field, which, you know, this deck absolutely loves. Also, opponent's turn, all of your Diaboromon gain blocker. So you have all these cards that just give you tons and tons of tokens now, so you can give them rush as well as you can give them blocker. And I think just having a squad of like 8 blockers on your field is like literal insanity. Absolutely going to be so awesome to get this guy included into the deck. As well as we have other support here. We have a new Infirmon, which opponent's turn, once per turn, when your opponent Digimon digivolves into a level 5 or higher, gain 1 memory. So essentially increases the cost of all their Evo costs. That's pretty neat. That's a really neat interaction that we haven't really seen before in Digimon. Also, the inheritable, your other Digimon with the same name get plus 2,000 DP. So again, all those Diaboromon tokens, you know, you digivolve a Diaboromon on top of this, and then all your tokens get a plus 2k DP buff. You know, that's kind of interesting. It's okay. I mean, it's not anything too like mind-blowingly awesome or broken. We also have the new Kurisarimon, and it has the inheritable of your turn once per turn. When another Digimon with the same name as this Digimon is destroyed, unsuspend this Digimon. That's just, you know, you have your big tentpole piece Diaboromon, and you know, you swing with it, get a security check, and then you start swinging with all your tokens, and so a token will like swing into security, it'll die. You unsuspend this Digimon, and then you can swing again with it, and that's really awesome. It is once per turn, or else it would be absolutely busted if it wasn't once per turn, because you could just continuously keep crashing tokens and keep unsuspending your tentpole piece. Would be pretty remarkable. And then a Caramon here, and this is just the inheritable for each of your other Digimon that you have in play. The same name, this Digimon gets plus 1,000 DP. Just kind of makes your tentpole piece that's, you know, you digivolve up into, just makes him a lot more beefier. So just really cool new support for Diaboromon. While we're on black, though, the next deck I want to talk about is Metal Etemon. Yes, so one of I think the issues holding back Etemon was that there wasn't enough targets. There wasn't enough Metal Etemons for the regular Etemon to trigger off of. For those not aware, basically you crash the level 5 Etemon into something, it dies. You can reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you reveal a Metal Etemon, you can play it for free. Before, you only had 4 targets originally. Now we got this new one on field, and you notice there's no like on Digivolve effect here, right? It's meant to be played where you just get to slam this guy down for free onto the field. Opponent's turn, for each Digimon card with Etemon in its name in your trash, this Digimon gets plus 1,000 DP. Awesome. Perfect. So we're crashing tons of Edamons and then throwing them into the trash. Going to make this guy super beefy, super fast. Also, on deletion, trigger Digivolve 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon. You know, you never know when that could come up. Just as soon as they run over it with something, you know, they de-digivolve. So, you know, it's kind of neat. Not like overly busted or anything like that. It's just the fact that we have more targets that we can play for free, I think, is the most important takeaway from this Metal Edamon, as well as the regular, a new level 5 one of your turn. When this Digimon digivolves into a Digimon card with Edamon in its name in your hand, reduce the memory cost of the Digivolution by 1. So that's cool. It really kind of benefits of, you know, you prefer to play those Metal Edamon for free with the original Edamon that we had, but with this one you can also do some digivolving into it and it not feel as bad. So reduce the cost by 1. I think reducing the cost by 1 is also super important for this format because there's so much memory blockers going around that gaining 1 memory would not be as nearly as good, because just you won't be able to gain it because there's too many memory blockers. But reducing the cost is so much better. Also, it has an inheritable, which is great because if the whole premise is Digivolve on top of this guy, you want to have some inheritables. And your turn, while this Digimon has Edamon in its name, this Digimon gains jamming. So basically, all your megas in your deck are going to turn into Metal Edamons, and then you're going to have 2 level 5 Edamons as well, 2 different versions. One of which is going to allow you to play Edamons for free, and the other one is going to give them jamming. So you know, it might be more beneficial to go with the old one with this Edamon, and so that way you can gain that jamming. I think is really cool. So this one can gain such a high DP buff that I don't think jamming is important or as important. But yeah, just a cool new like combination that these guys can do. Fits really nicely into D Brigade. D Brigade is typically a low level deck, I guess. It's all about 3s and 4s, and this the Metal Edamon package, or just the Edamon strategy in general, is all like 5s and 6s. So it actually fits really nicely as a deck when you just combine these 2 separate strategies together. So really liking the new additions there. Next up, we're looking at purple here, and we got new Myotismon packages. Just Myotismon is one of those like classic like villain Digimon, right, that everyone just kind of flocks to. And honestly, we've kind of been seeing this. It popped up here and there every so often, just out of nowhere. It just does phenomenally, and no one ever expects it. I think it's one of those like, it's super rogue that if no one sees coming and they just don't know how to play around it, they're just going to get steamrolled by it. We've been seeing it pop up in BT7, winning tournaments in BT7. So get your hands on it in Classic Collection and get familiar with it now. Retaliation on a level 6 is not exactly the best thing, but it really makes your opponent have to go into something big. If they're going to run this over, it's going to have to be like a level 6, a level 7, and with a retaliation, that's probably not what they want to see. But when attacking once per turn, you may play a level 4 or lower purple Digimon with retaliation from your trash without paying its memory cost. Any on-play effects don't activate. So that's really cool. Just every single time you attack, you can play something with retaliation. Just looking back at that original Devimon that had retaliation, just getting to recycle that continuously over and over. We have the level 5 Myotismon here, and this is the your turn when this Digimon digivolves into a Digimon with Myotis in its name. Hence the Venom Myotismon. Reduce the memory cost of that Digivolution by 1. So it turns this 4 cost into a perfect, nice, comfortable 3 cost. And with a memory fixer, that's totally fine. 3 Evo cost with memory fixer is a-okay. Also, 12,000 DP is pretty beefy for a 3 Evo cost if you want to look at it like that. Also has an inheritable of if this Digimon has Myotis in its name. Again, kind of all part of the theme here. All of your Digimon with your retaliation can attack your opponent's unsuspended level 4 or lower Digimon. So again, you're going to play a deck with tons of retaliation. That's really great. So you got stuff like Devimon and things like that you're going to keep bringing back. So remember, this is an inheritable. So you're going to bring it back off the Venom Myotismon, your retaliation Devimon, and then you can immediately swing with it. Well, not immediately, but you understand that you can swing unsuspended with your retaliation. So that's kind of neat that it just kind of all works together. We have a new Devimon. Golly, we have so many Devimon in this game. I think between Gabumon and Agumon Evo lines, like Devimon is like right there in line with tons of different versions of it. But inheritable of on deletion, return 1 purple level 4 lower Digimon from your trash to your hand. So with this being an on deletion, you could technically add this right back. So you will never be wanting for level 4s. Either adding them to hand or playing them for free. You know, level 4s is going to be like your bread and butter. So that's like your blockers and things like that. We also know new Demi-Devimon that has retaliation. A level 3 with retaliation is kind of scary, honestly. So just kind of be warned and stay on vigilant about that, because you never know when one of these guys will just come down and wreck you. Your turn, while you do not have a Digimon with Myotismon in its name in play, this Digimon cannot attack your opponent's Digimon. So again, keep that in mind as well. You need a Myotismon on field, which won't be a problem because you have so many to choose from. Between the regular Myotismon and the Venom Myotismon, you are definitely covered on having plenty of targets for Myotismon, and then kind of make that retaliation a little bit better there. So gotta have that to really get the good benefit of all that retaliation going on. And then this Wizardmon, like every set, Wizardmon's been getting just better and better and more crazy. Absolutely love Wizardmon, but he also has retaliation, so we have another level 4 target for reviving back that has retaliation. Also has this insane inheritable here. All your Digimon with retaliation gains rush. So that's what I was talking about before, is when you swing and you bring back your level 4s with retaliation using Venom Myotismon's effect, you can then use the regular Myotismon to swing immediately into unsuspended Digimon. That's just, what a great combination. All of these guys work so well together. Just, you know, swing, bring back a level 4. That level 4 has rush because it has retaliation. Swing into an unsuspended Digimon with that retaliation. Just what a really just nasty combo. So like I said, when people don't know how to play against this like Myotismon deck, it can really take them by surprise and just absolutely steamroll them. And the final deck that I want to talk about for this is going to be Machine Dramon. Now, if you've been paying attention to the current meta in Japan, Dark Machines are building. Okay, they're getting every set just more and more play. They're getting more and more support. They're just getting stronger and stronger. And this is kind of where it really all started. This Classic Collection is what finally started kicking things off for Dark Machines. And this Machine Dramon is basically like its cover card for the deck. On play, so it's 12 cost on play, brutal play cost. That's usually how Machine Dramon rolls, though. You may place up to 5 red or black level 5 Digimon cards with Cyborg in their type, with different card numbers from your hand or trash at the top of this Digimon's Digivolution cards to gain 1 memory for each card placed there. So you can essentially reduce this to a 7 play cost, which isn't the worst for a level 6. That's actually pretty awesome. As well as just kind of think about, as long as you keep doing different things, you can put all kinds of crazy inheritables underneath this guy. So that's really cool. All turns, this Digimon's DP cannot be reduced, so a great counter to like security control for yellow, as well as just kind of really any kind of yellow strategy. I know that there are builds out there with Dynasmon that use a whole lot of DP reduction, or you know, they can just be throwing it back to the Lord Nightmon Yellow War Greymon, which is still a deck that's still being played all the way through Classic Collection, and this just completely counters that whole strategy. So that's really awesome. All turns, when this Digimon would be deleted, you may trash 2 level 5 Digimon cards from this Digimon's Digivolution cards instead. Boom. So not only can you not reduce its DP, which is a great counter to yellow, but anytime it would be deleted, just anytime it would be deleted, not by card effect or anything, just anytime it would be deleted, you can just trash 2 and then keep it alive. So if you put like the level 5 that gives blocker, that's a black Digimon from the starter deck, you put that underneath here, you just keep blocking turn after turn and he just won't die. Like, that's really strong. So this is just kind of, like I said, the beginnings of Dark Machines. So as you're seeing a lot of stuff like Andromon, you know, we have the new Andromon here, which, you know, is more support. So while this Digimon has Machine in its type, this Digimon gains blocker. So again, another source of blocker to give to Machine Dramon. So just really awesome stuff here. Lots of support for our Dark Machine strategy coming in. There's been tons of support already for Black. Black has some of the best inheritables in this entire game, and we see it just come in and out of the meta, and it always takes people by surprise. Like, oh man, Black is doing stuff. Of course Black is doing stuff. Black has got some really good cards. It's just underplayed. Now, we did go through a spurt where it was like the deck to play and tons of people flocked to it, but I feel like it's really died off since then. But just be warned, it will be making a resurgence again, and this is where it's going to start, right here in Classic Collection. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would, please like the video and subscribe. Just a little bit of help goes a super long ways. It helps the channel out tremendously, gets my videos out there, gets them seen. And if you really want to support the channel, check out the links in the description below. I'll have a link for my Patreon, which is displayed right here. You can get access to my Discord server that I have, as well as you can get the memory markers that we've had. These are just a few of my favorites from the past that we've had. The current one, Impmon's baby, as well as Gabumon's baby as well, Sunomon and Yamon. These guys are super adorable. I definitely love them so much. And every month a new one changes out, so make sure you check that out. As well as we have our new playmats. This is why I recreated this video. It's because our playmats are here finally, and they are super cool. I alternate between the black and white every single month for whoever wants to support this tier, as well as I have a tier just higher than that, so that way you don't also have to lose out on a memory marker. You can get both the memory marker and the playmat just in case you want both. Super awesome support from everyone that has supported in the past and who will support in the future. You guys are awesome. Also, if you want to check out my merch, my Teespring link is in the description below for that. We've got, you know, the shirts that I wear on the channel that has the logo across. I love when I see people representing my merch in public. It is like one of the coolest feelings I've ever had in my entire life. Very awesome. As well as phone cases for you people that love Digimon like so much like I do. A friend of mine custom made all these to fit these specific phone cases themselves, so the prices are a little bit higher just because I have to pay her back, as well as make a little tiny bit of profit because of how much unfortunately they take for their cut for Teespring. But like I said, if you can't do any of that, please just like the video and subscribe to the channel. Every time we hit a new mile marker for subscriptions, I give out free merch of all different types. 2000K, I think we're doing one of the playmat giveaways, so definitely be subscribed and ready for when that comes.